Many investors all over the globe are very interested in dividend growth investing. In fact, it has become one of the most popular forms of investing and even has built a huge community up around itself. But why is dividend investing so popular? Mostly because of the idea that you can get paid passive income monthly, quarterly, or yearly without having to dip into your initial investments. This is truly passive income, and dividend growth investing puts your money to work for you. Even though you could get the same return or possibly better by investing in broad index funds, the idea of choosing to reinvest your dividends or to keep them to pay your expenses is completely up to you with each and every dividend payment you receive. Here's the problem with traditional dividend investing though. It can take way too much money and way too long to make a sizable return. Especially if you're trying to live off dividends. Who really wants to wait until they are 70 years old to live off their dividend investments that they have been building up for over 30 years? To start this video off, we're going to take a look at Algonquin Power and Utility stock, ticker symbol AQN. This stock has a forward dividend yield of 3.94% and has increased its dividend for the past 10 years straight. Another thing to mention is that this stock is heavily invested into renewable energy, which gives it great growth potential. This is a huge stock that would be, a really good look for a dividend investor, especially with a traditional approach. For me, this is a quality stock with a decent dividend, but there's still a problem with this stock, and it won't get you to live off dividends anytime soon. Let's say you have $20,000 invested in this stock, and you hold it for 40 years. This stock would give you around $788 per year, or $66 per month, with your initial investment of $20,000. At an annual dividend return of 3.94%, you would have been paid $31,520 in dividends if you did not reinvest your dividends after 40 years. With dividends reinvested, however, after 40 years, your new annual income from dividends would be $3,781 or $315 a month. With reinvesting your dividends, you would have been paid a total of $74,855 in dividends over the span of 40 years. So even with dividends reinvested, it's going to take over 30 years to reach any sizable dividend income at a rate of 3.94%. And I know you will be also increasing your dividends by adding in more money every year, month, or so on. But the example will still stand when we get to the second part, so stay tuned for that. And unless you have over $500,000 to $1 million lying around, your passive dividend income won't be rolling in anytime soon at this rate. Now that you know about the traditional, slow and steady approach, let's get into the fastest way to live off your dividends. The simplest way to put this is that you need to achieve higher dividend yields in order to live off a smaller investment. This is especially important for your everyday investor who doesn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars to reinvest and invest, and especially important for people who don't have 30 to 40 years on their side. Increasing your dividend yield is not always an easy task, and it can often require taking on more risk, which can be overwhelming to the safe and steady sallies of the dividend investing world. Don't get me wrong, I love this safe and steady sallies, but personally, sometimes taking small risks for big rewards is worth it, and many times you don't even need to take much risk at all when searching for higher dividend paying stocks. And when I say you don't need to take much risk, I now want to introduce you to covered call ETFs. This style of investing is quite new, and there are many ETFs on each exchange around the world. These investments typically bring a very nice yield of 7 to 11% in dividends that are most times paid monthly. Let's quickly take a look at our $20,000 example, but this time using a covered call ETF by Global X, ticker symbol QYLD. Once again, let's say you have $20,000 invested in this stock and you hold it for 40 freaking years. Just to start, this stock would give you around $2,346 a year or $195 a month with just your initial investment of $20,000. At an annual dividend return of 11.73%, you would have been paid $93,000 in dividends if you did not reinvest your dividends after 40 years. With dividends reinvested after 40 years, your new annual income, from dividends would be $239,183 a year, or just about $20,000 a month. With reinvesting your dividends, you would have been paid a total of $1.9 million in dividends over the span of 40 years. Comparing the two investments, both using the same $20,000 principal, with dividends reinvested, our AQN investment yielded us $74,855 in dividends over the course of 40 years. This is about $20,000 less than our QYLD investment without even reinvesting those dividends. Now, on the other hand, if we did reinvest our QYLD dividends, it would be worth 26 times more than our AQN investment, with a grand total of $1.9 million compared to AQN's $74,000. The real concept to grasp here is that achieving a sizable amount of income from dividend payments doesn't have to take 40 years. With a higher dividend yield you can get from different investments like covered calls, ETFs, or REITs, you can start living off dividends much faster than a traditional blue chip approach. With many people not having tons of cash to throw into a 4% yield, I really enjoy these higher yields, and I would encourage all dividend investors to take a look at higher yields found in these types of investments. I know this approach is not for everyone, but the fastest way to live off dividends is by simply increasing your dividend yield. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments and tell me what dividend stocks are your favorites and why. With that being said, it's been your friend Jack. This video is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Keep learning, keep earning. Peace out.